Truro, Nova Scotia is warning residents not to panic when they see people wielding crossbows in their town. Those people will be hunters. It's part of a plan to control the deer, which have been wandering into town in alarming numbers. People living in Truro voted in favor of the hunt in October 2020 by a slim margin. Bill Bills is the mayor of Truro, Nova Scotia, and that's where we reached him.
Mayor Mills, first of all, just tell us about this deer population in Truro.
Well, Carol, for the last 10 years, we've experienced a exponential growth of the deer population, and it's resulted in a number of problems, and everything from basically people's gardens and shrubs being eaten. There have been a number of collisions in town. Last year we had 20 vehicle deer collisions, and those are the ones that we reported. And then there's also concerns raised by citizens with regards to Lyme disease and the tick population. So, yeah, there's a number of reasons as to why there has been concern raised.
Okay, are the deer just wandering in on their own, or are they being encouraged by people feeding them?
Well, that's been a big problem. The feeding part of it is that we do have signs all over town that it's kind of a comical thing, but we address the deer, do not eat human food, and et cetera, et cetera. You know, human food is not good for deer, and by doing so, you think you're helping them out, but in actual fact, you're hurting them. And also, once the deer are established and they have their little fawns in my backyard or yours or somewhere else, that's their domain, and that's where they travel. So that's what's led us to where we are today.
Okay, do you have some examples of the people having deer in their backyard because they're feeding them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had one lady in town. She had up to 30 deer in her backyard. She was given a summary offense ticket, and she refused to pay. I met with her. She came to my office. She brought with her a picture photo album, and she had all the deer's pictures, and they were all named, and so on and so forth. And I get it. I understand deer are beautiful to look at. But anyway, this lady that was served a summary offense ticket refused to pay, and was quite adamant that she would rather go to jail than stop feeding the deer. So, again, there's high emotions, that's for sure. And so, yeah, and we're always competing with Bambi. So, and that's part of the problem.
Okay, well, now you're going to have a hunt for Bambi. So what's the plan there?
Basically, the hunt is not necessarily for Bambi, but, some of the older, mature deer. So we've been working for a number of years, and we're going to have a controlled, managed hunt. And the plan for this year is to take at least 20 deer for the first year of this program. We'll do that consistently over, however long it takes to get it to a manageable type of scenario. You know, with all these issues that I raised earlier, we still have a significant number of people who are not happy about it, and I expected that. But at the same time, it's a difficult thing.
Okay, but see, we're not talking about people with firearms in the streets of Truro, but you are talking about crossbows, right? People with crossbows hunting animals in a city. How do you manage that?
Well, we have 4 designated areas in the town that have been set aside. We have special permits from the province of Nova Scotia, specifically designed for what we're about to do. We have 4 hunters. They are extremely well trained to use the bow. They also have to take tests with the province to show their qualifications and pass an exam to meet their standards for a bow hunter. We will set up, I guess you could say, blinds in top of trees in these areas. All shots will be from the top down. There will be no shots sideways, if you will. If it misses the deer, we'll go into the ground. So, this problem is something that we're trying to manage. If we had another choice, we would probably take it. We've had people suggest that we start some kind of a birth control program, but that gets very expensive, and it also no guarantees, and it takes a while for the birth control to get into effect in order for deer not to become with a fawn.
Okay, but we're talking about a lethal hunt for animals in an urban environment. We're talking about in a city. So are people a bit nervous about the idea that people are going to be hunting in their city?
Well, again, not in the city. It'll be on the outskirts in our industrial park, which has a limited number of people, and way somewhere near the golf course, things like this. And of course, we're not in golf season, so this has been highly managed and planned by the officials at Nova Scotia Lands and Forests, the town, and so on. So, yes, we understand there would be some apprehension, but it's not going to be a free-for-all in any way, shape, or form. And the meat that comes from these deer will go to Feed Nova Scotia. The hide and some of the other body parts will go to Millbrook First Nation, just outside of Truro. So we're cooperating with all kinds of people.
Okay, if you've got people who are willing to go to jail to protect the deer,
only one.
Well, okay,
only
but people are passionate about this, right? So so both sides, and so what concerns do you have about people? What they might do they don't want this to happen, right? So what might they do?
We had a plebiscite. We just did not make this decision on our own. We thought that council felt that we will have a plebiscite. We will abide by the results, and the ones that were in favor of this procedure that we're embarking on, I think there was about 2,700 people in favor, and maybe 2,500, then somewhere around 1,700 that were against. And, I mean, there's never a perfect scenario where you get agreement on anything today. So, I think of my counterparts in Canmore, Alberta, they have a bunny problem. So, and that's what happened. Somebody let 8 bunnies go a number of years ago, and the mayor of Canmore is frustrated, as I am sometimes. People from Edmonton poke their nose into Canmore's business. So it's very tough to get things done.
All right, we'll leave it there. Mayor Mills, it's good to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bill Mills is the mayor of Truro, Nova Scotia.